What's going on, NBA 2K fans? It is Pete Toll, aka PT Sports 84, back with another NBA 2K25 video. Today's NBA opening night, so we've got a couple games on the schedule this evening. So you know what that means. NBA 2K has dropped their official NBA 2K25 opening night roster, and it includes all of the missing players that we didn't have previous. For those that are watching, there was a second update this morning. There was some discrepancies with cap faces in the early update. It dropped around 6 a.m. Eastern time, and there was a lot of cap faces that were way off. Quick disclaimer, in this video, there is one cap for Yuki Kawamura of the Grizzlies. He is still way off. They had Yuki's face on Quincy Oliveri's cap player for the Lakers previously, but they didn't add it to him correctly in this one. So maybe we'll see another update sometime this morning. And if so, you know, in tomorrow's video or the next day, whenever there's another update, I'll be able to highlight that. But I won't make a second video just to highlight it. I'll probably just post it on Twitter or X, whatever you call it, and let everybody know so they know what to look for. But let's jump into the update. So, of course, like I mentioned, all of the missing players are added. It was mostly two-way guys, and then Alex Reese of the Oklahoma City Thunder. So let's run through those really quick. Lester Quinones was already in the game, but they actually added him to the 76ers via the roster update. I think he's going to be somebody that might possibly play some minutes depending on when they rest Eric Gordon. Obviously, with Paul George out, they could use some scoring. Jared McCain has looked good, so I don't know. He may play over Quinones. We'll see. But added to the roster is Justin Edwards of Kentucky. So as you can see, he's there, added in the game. It looks like eventually he's going to get a cap face. That is or a actual scan. If I remember correctly, I think he got a scan, and the Sixers highlighted that he got a scan. So hopefully at some point that'll drop into the game, and we'll get him with maybe his tattoos and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens with that. But just wanted to check something really quick. So then we've got Liam Robbins. He ended up beating out Panishkis for the center job as a two-way player. Able to stretch the floor. He blocked shots as well. So we shall see. They obviously have his mullet there. Just another quick disclaimer. I'm going to have a roster update of my own out with using the opening night roster, but I'm going to have corrected caps and stuff like that. My guy, Richie 2K, did a lot of caps. CDK, I think it's CDK. I can't remember. I always mess it up because I always try to search it and I always mess it up. CK Creations. Let's say that. I apologize. I messed it up. But he works on the ATD roster as well. His caps. And then my guy, Dirty _8_ Spesh, does good cap work as well. So I variate between those three guys as far as caps and stuff for the most part. So I'll add new caps in, obviously credit them on the video and all that good stuff. But we'll have that out at some point later today, I hope. Next up, Chicago Bulls. We have DJ Stewart out of Duke. He gets added in. We'll fix that just because it's, generic looking. It doesn't look really anything like him. Let's see, going over to the Cavaliers. They do have the actual face scan of Luke Travers back in the game. You can see that here. So that's officially in NBA 2K now. Next up, Boston Celtics. Did they get anybody? I don't think they added anybody. Nope, we don't get anybody for them. The Clippers, we get Trenton Flowers. So there he is. That's actually not a bad cap, considering that's actually not far off what Trenton looks like. So that's actually one of the better caps. Here's what I'm talking about with Yuki. Not a good cap. As you can see, it just looks really bad. It's a Caucasian player, and he is obviously Japanese, and so that is not going to cut it when it comes to Yuki. So hopefully that can get remedied, and they'll get the correct face in there. Third time's a charm. Next up, we have nobody for the Hawks, but we do have Kashad Johnson for the Miami Heat. That's a basic cap. Basically, not too far off what he looks like, but just a basic cap they threw in there. Nasir Little is actually not on the Miami Heat, so they got to take him off as well. Oh, boy. Jared Rhoden got added to the Charlotte Hornets late, so he's on a two-way there. Let's see. Going over to the Sacramento Kings, we've got Isaiah Crawford. Eventually, they'll have to add goggles to him, but that's just a generic cap, so they won't do that until they get a scan. Isaac Jones added in. That's a little bit darker skin tone for Jones than he should have, but that's okay. We can always fix that later. The Knicks don't have enough players to cover the minimum roster. They actually only have 12 players right now, and they're allowed to carry that for 14 days, and then they got to up it. 28 days total on the season. They got to figure it out cap-wise. I guess they're going to wait and see what they need once the season starts and then go from there. Going over to the Lakers. So we've got Armel Traore. So we got him. And then Quincy Oliveri. Very happy he made the roster. I like him a lot. That 41 looks kind of weird that it's like the way that it's placed on the jersey, but okay. Going over to the Magic. We get Mac McClung back in the game. This is an official scan of Mac McClung. He was previously in NBA 2K for the last couple years, as he had been on a two-way contract a couple times. Going over to the Dallas Mavericks, Jay-Z and Gortman. That's just a generic cap. We'll get that updated on my roster. But he made the Dallas Mavericks over A.J. Lawson. We get Young Shi Chi, I think is how you say it. There's a cap face. We'll get that fixed as well. I apologize if I mispronounced that, but I also got Tyrese Martin. Tyrese Martin has an official cap with his tattoos. He was in previous 2Ks as he was on the Atlanta Hawks previously. I keep thinking I missed somebody over. I guess not on Dallas. We've got a couple two-way guys added to the game here. Trey Alexander on the Nuggets. PJ Hall right here. And then Spencer Jones as well. All of the skin tones seem to be off a little bit. But we can get that, like I said, we'll get that fixed in my roster. We have a real face scan of Quentin Jackson in the game with his tattoos. So that's good to see that there. I don't think they added the action photo. There is an action photo for Quentin Jackson as well in the game. So they'll eventually have to add that. Going over to the Pelicans, they made a small move yesterday. They added Brandon Boston on a two-way, and they cut Malcolm Hill. So that made it into the game for anybody that's curious. Going over to the Detroit Pistons, Cole Schwider and Alondace Williams, both are on two ways. They got signed yesterday as well. Dennis Jenkins is in right there. Going over to the Raptors, we have Jamison Battle making the roster. A lot of people thought it was going to be Jamias Ramsey making it, but Battle made it as they needed more of a hybrid forward He could play both forward spots there. And then, of course, Bruno Fernando made it for center depth as well. A lot of the positions are off. As anybody knows, with 2K, they don't update positions until the first attributes update, which should be the first Thursday of November, I'd assume. So we'll see what happens there as far as the position changes and stuff like that. Let's see teams play some games, kind of see what the rotations look like, and then they'll be able to make adjustments. So just hang tight. We have official face scans for N'Faly Dante in the game. Nate Williams has his official face scan as well. So that's good to see. And then we've got Jack McVay as a cap face. He is a shooter, so they definitely could use that on the Rockets. So be excited to watch the Rockets this year. Jalen Green got his extension, and so we'll go over that in a minute and see if all the guys got their extensions in. Riley Minix, another shooter he is in for the San Antonio Spurs. That is not a great looking cap, so we'll have to get that touched up and fixed. We've got Jalen Bridges with his official scan for the Phoenix Suns. As you can see, he's got tattoos as well, so that's really good to see that. We've got the Oklahoma City Thunder. As I mentioned earlier, they've got some new players. Alex Dukas is a shooter for them as a two-way player. And then we've got Alex Reese here on a standard contract. So Alex Reese is in the game as well. So there's that. And then they'll have to add injuries. I don't know why they don't have injuries already on. It's weird. Like Topic and stuff's a known injuries out for the year and stuff, but it is what it is. I guess maybe this is just today and then tomorrow they'll add injuries. Who knows? Jesse Edwards in as a cap face for the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's a center. Probably won't play much this year. Most of his time will be in the G League. They ended up going with PJ Dozier over Keita Bates-Diop for the final roster spot. We knew that once Dozier had the backing of Tim Connolly, who obviously also had him in Denver previously. So he's always been a big fan. Going over to, let's see, Portland doesn't have anybody new. Golden State. So we've got two new guys here. Reese Beekman is in. He won't play a lot, but he does do well with, ball handling and stuff like that. Decent defender as well. Quentin Post is there. He adds size to the team, kind of a different look. I don't expect him to play a lot either, but they are high on him. That's why they wanted to make sure they got him in on at minimum a two-way deal until they can figure out financial stuff. Washington Wizards. What's interesting about the Wizards, a last-minute signing last night, Jared Butler is added on a two-way, and they cut Raj Dennis. Interesting enough, 2K had Raj Dennis in the previous update, so I was able to grab him. And I can upload him to 2K Share or whatever later. But I'll just throw him on my G League team and update his face and stuff like that. So that's that for players added in the game. Let's see if they added anything for coaches. Nope. Charles Lee still looks way off. That's going to tell me that Fernandez still looks way off. And then Brian Keefe still looks way off. They've got to do something about the coaches and get them scanned or get somebody to make them. They'd been great in previous years about getting the official coaches' faces done before 2K originally dropped like the first, when they dropped the first patch. But this year, I don't know what happened. But let's look at some of the players here. Overall who would have gotten extensions, and let's see if they made it into the game. So we've got Jalen Suggs signed his extension. So yep, they got Jalen Suggs in. These are just estimates, obviously, because the numbers aren't in. So Suggs has his extension. Let's see if Wendell Carter has his. Wendell Carter has his as well. Who else do we got? So we've got Hardy got one. Looks like they've got Hardy in as well. It's good. Nuggets. So we've got Aaron Gordon got an extension. Eric Gordon got his extension. Great to see that. That's going to tell me that Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun got theirs, or they at least should have theirs. Great to see that. And it's got the player option, as you see, attached. That's one of the most unique contracts I've seen for a rookie extension. I hit Van Fleet. I did not mean to do that. I meant to go to Alperen Sengun. Contract. Yep. So Sengun's got his as well. So good to see that. And trying to remember who the other. I know I'm missing somebody. So Suggs, Gordon, Jalen Johnson. I knew I was missing somebody. Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson got his as well. So as you can see, all of the contracts are updated. They'll clean up the numbers and stuff once they're official and all that stuff. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing injuries eventually added. Oh, I missed one. Trey Murphy of the Pelicans. Let's see. Make sure he got one. Moses Moody. I missed a couple. Trey Murphy got his. Moses Moody. I'm going to assume that these guys got them in if the rest of them did, because then you would just be missing. Yeah, so they got him in, and then Corey Kispert. Kispert's definitely going to get traded at some point. This is like a super tradable contract. He's got his in as well. I think now that's everybody. That's all the extensions in. So they definitely added the extensions in the game as needed. So there's that. Let's go double check. I wanted to look at something else because I saw a lot of feedback that some player appearances weren't showing correctly as far as styles and stuff. Yeah, so they need to update styles on players, it looks like still. Let's look at Paul George. Yeah, so Paul George would go to like style 1 versus style 3 and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll hopefully 2K will update that at some point and get that in. Just double checking. I wanted to check something else really quickly, even though Yuki's face is there. Okay, so they added him into the name database at least. So those names are added in now, so we don't have to worry about the PA announcer not saying anything overall. So everything looks good as far as the roster, as far as transactions go and stuff like that. There's obviously always going to be a little bit of cleanup here and there with everything, but for the most part, they've got the roster cleaned up as a baseline for the start of the season. That's pretty much it for me. I'm going to work on my own roster this morning. I will drop that on 2K Share later today once I'm finished, and then we'll go from there. But if you've liked this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up. Make sure you're sharing it with your buddies. Also, please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Also, let everybody else know to subscribe. We need to get that subscriber count up. Hoping to get it up at least 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2K this year. So really want to look forward to that as a goal. So if you can make that happen, please do. I know that some people have asked about donations. If you go to my bio, you can look and see there's a PayPal link. Even if it's $1, like if you guys can throw $1, that helps the channel. That helps me get more equipment. Eventually, I want to be able to get OBS. I just don't, or not OBS, get a capture card to be able to use OBS, so that way we can get some gameplay going and stuff like that. But I'm unable to do that right now, but hopefully could do that in the future. Like I said, any donation helps. I've had a lot of people DM me and ask me about donations because they wanted to help, with some money. Some people have already donated. Thank you, everybody that has donated. I really appreciate that. That helps a lot. But yes, please, like I said, hit the thumbs up, share, and subscribe. Everybody take care and have a great rest of your day.